So Glenn has been busy trying to make some malt bread.
Malt bread. Yes. And I have found a bunch of different recipes for malt bread, and they fall into two categories. High hydration, or what I would, maybe not high hydration, but moderate hydration in terms of how much water or milk you put in. And low hydration, which is the one I tried first.
It didn't work out so well.
Didn't work out.
It didn't rise, but then you knew even before you put it in.
As I was mixing it, I said, "There's not enough liquid here. This is not going to work," and it didn't.
No.
So the recipe that we did today
Ooh, it's still hot.
was, I'm still not going to say that it was I'm still not going to say that it was
High moisture?
high moisture or high hydration,
High hydration.
but it was twice as much as in that loaf.
It still didn't rise a whole lot.
No, so it is. Well,
But malt bread really doesn't. It's a very thick, dense.
it's a heavy, dense.
It's a little browner on the top than. What do you mean?
Whoa. Well, it looks good.
It looks really hot though.
It looks good.
How's it smell?
So here's what I did. Well, we'll come back to that.
Okay.
Here's what we did. So I started out with a small saucepan, and to that I added brown sugar, dry malt extract, molasses, butter, and milk. And I put that on the lowest of low heats. You just want to get it to the point where the butter is almost melted. You don't want to boil it, you don't want to heat it too hot, just almost melted. While that was melting, I mixed together the dry ingredients. That's whole wheat flour, bread flour, a pinch of salt, dry yeast, and seedless raisins, and I gave that a really good mix. Then I took the temperature of the melted milk and butter. You don't want this to be even as high as body temperature, and you certainly don't want it to be over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. This one ended up in the 90s, which was pretty much perfect. Put it on the stand mixer and slowly poured in the liquid. And then just allowed the dough hook to pull the flour into the liquid until it created a sticky ball. Then I turned up the speed to allow that to knead. And then I realized that the little mixer that I chose to use today just wasn't going to do it. So I pulled it out, put it on the counter, and kneaded it by hand. Now, all of my research has indicated that this is not going to end up like a regular bread dough that is really stretchy and nice and elastic. It's always going to be heavy and dense. But once I got it to a point where I thought it was pretty good, I cut it in half, and then I shaped it into the baking dishes. And if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe now and smash that notification bell so you find out about our new videos as soon as they come out. And again, it's not like a regular bread dough. It's not going to be stretchy and nice and puffy and light. It is heavy and dense, and you're really going to have to push it into the corners. Covered it with a little bit of plastic wrap, and then I left it to rise, and you only want it to rise about as high as the top of the baking dish, and that took a really long time. Once it had risen into the oven, and I baked that until it reached about 195 degrees internal temperature, pulled it out and let it cool. And so this is what we ended up with.
It looks really good.
It looks really good, doesn't it? Let's give it a taste.
It's much better than that one.
Way better than that one.
It's not super malty.
No.
I'm kind of surprised.
When I was kneading it, you could really get the malt smell. I think you could double up on the malt flavor. For my own personal taste.
Because I really like malt bread.
Yeah.
I like the raisins though.
This is toast.
It's very comforting.
Yeah. Yeah. This is something that it's more of a dessert. It's not a bread. It's a
I wouldn't say that, but it's got a very comforting feeling to it.
it's halfway to panettone or halfway to
Yes.
a really nice
Yeah,
raisin
you're
bread.
not going to make a sandwich with it, I
No.
don't think. But
No.
it is lovely. It would go really well with, still think it would go really well with certain cheeses and fruits, like in a,
But I would slice some of this off and toast it with a little bit of butter and have a great snack after dinner.
you would slice 10 slices right now and probably just,
I would. I would. But alas, this is not the malt bread I'm looking for.
so there's going to be another version?
So there will be more. Yeah, I'm looking for a much darker, deeper, maltier.
Really malty.
Like really malty.
The kind that when you toast it goes really well with peanut butter. I can't really explain that, but I really like peanut butter on the dark malt bread.
Well, and I used a light malt extract. I just went down to the brewery and grabbed our own brewery in the basement and grabbed the malt extract that I use for growing yeast, which is a very light malt extract. Maybe a super dark malt extract would give a completely different flavor to this. So we'll have to try that out. Anyway, it is still really good. Give it a try. Excuse
I
me.
like that one.